Lancaster and one off of Mentor Avenue. For the other two pads that are actually split by Atlas Drive, you have another entrance off of South Lancaster Road and one off of Atlas Drive. Pad number 4, which we're anticipating being more of a drive-through only space for restaurant, coffee or smoothie or something of that sort. Entering would be off of Atlas Drive, and then exiting would be only right turn lane out onto South Lancaster Drive in the southbound direction. Entering onto the site, we've got dedicated parking on the surface lots for all those pad spaces, so there would be no visitor parking outside of residential visitor parking inside of the garage. We have the pad sized appropriately for the amount of vehicle parking spaces we have on the site surrounding both pad 1 and pad 2, pad 3, and for a drive-through only on pad 4. There's visitors parking for the leasing office, but all of the tenants inside the residential portion that you see in yellow, the 4 stories overall, 331 units, would all be parked within the garage. On 1, 2, 3, 4, page 11 would be the project information that shows the breakdown of how many units we have full net rentals will be at 297,000, give or take, rentable square feet, averaging almost 900 square foot a unit to get to 333 units proposed. We're breaking it down by unit ratio of 8% efficiencies, 58% 1 beds, 32% 2 beds, and 2% 3 beds, to give the opportunity for families to also come and incorporate into this building overall. Total parking provided in the garage is 425, and that is at a ratio of 0.94 spaces per bedroom. So we're really close to the 1-to-1 ratio to the bedroom, which is a really high mark for multi-family residential spaces. For the overall design of the building, we wanted to give a very warm and welcoming design with the main corners of the leasing office, which is right here, and the community space, which almost mirrors this design from the leasing office. There's an example of that image in your packets, with very tan and kind of more beige colored brick, with plenty of brick detailing going around some of the windows, warm wood material at the corners of the leasing office and community space, giving it a very welcoming approach with a large cantilevering out canopy from the spaces to provide the additional cover for those entering the space. Off to the left, you see the parking garage is hidden, and it's actually hidden pretty deeply behind the corner, so there's really no real direct visibility to it. So it's very well hidden on both the leasing office side and the community space side. For visitors to the site overall, the pads will not be developed immediately. We're still reaching out. Our partner in this, Terrence Maiden, he is still reaching out and getting interest for all 4 pad sites. So we don't have any direct companies or providers yet, but the goal is to provide an open green space in the meantime. As you can see, we have the proposed blocks kind of colored in and shaded in just to show what a scale could be on the corner. But ultimately, we'll have open green space with a paved area in between provided for the community so they can come onto the site before anything actually gets developed for the retail restaurant. For the residents themselves, you've got 4 total courtyards. You've got an open air courtyard, or an open-ended courtyard, I should say, that faces the pad that will have connection to it. But also security is a big factor in this after our discussions with the 3 neighborhood meetings we had, and especially with the neighborhood police officers that attended. They really want to keep security as a high-end, very high important factor. So on one of your pages, if I can scroll back to page number 7, it's called a building access plan.
you can see on that plan, I have arrows pointing to all the major points of entry onto the space. Down off of the South Denley side, the only points of access we have, minus an egress stair, is entry into these open courtyards off of Denley Avenue. Further discussions, recently we decided we should have a protected entrance off of that for any of the internal residents in those courtyards so they could have quicker access to the exterior site or dog walks or just their own leisure. That would be a access control point building. But as we see, most of the entry points of the building are directed towards the north, towards Lancaster Road. We do have the one off of Atlas Drive, but that's just due to building egress requirements for overall. But to continue my conversation on for the resident experience with the courtyard, it's got the one open-ended courtyard that faces the parking, that has a high security fence separating it between rows of trees. Creates a really nice open field with a water feature in the middle to create ambiance. Then the two open-ended courtyards off of South Denley Drive. Right now, they're shown to be, similar in nature, but, once we get the landscape architect on board to really dive deep into it, that can become a really two independent spaces overall in those courtyards. And then the internal courtyard that's located within a 3-story portion, it doesn't have the more canyon-like feel that a 4- or 5-story apartment building could really feel like. But a nice cool courtyard in here with grill stations, lounge seating, fire pits, things like that, that Livorno Capital in their for what they would do for their developments, just typical resident experience. Internal to the building, besides the 2,600 square foot leasing office, which should hold main management resources and mailroom, other services for the building, for the tenants. You got a business center, just under 1,000 square feet for, day-to-day working, printers, some computer access, small conference room, kind of whisper rooms is kind of the cool thing that's going on right now, just some private workspaces. Fitness at around 1,200 square feet, which would get typical ellipticals, treadmills, bikes, free weights. And then a club that has direct access to the full courtyard. That would have, the warming kitchen, the warming drawers, the under counter fridges just for catered events or just cool hangout spot for the residents. And then up on the 4th floor on page 10, there's also a club, Sky Lounge Club, that goes right on this corner. That becomes a really nice bright spot for any visitors coming down to the site saying, oh, there's some activity up there. And you actually start to get to see some views of downtown from that high elevation above the street. Overall, that's a pretty quick summary and description of our site. It's been a pleasure working with Brian and Connor on this. It's been a long time coming that we've been developing this and are really excited about seeing this come to fruition. Thank you.
Excellent. Very good. Clear presentation. We have 2 of our panel members that each leave in 30 minutes. So this time will be efficient with our time. So let's start with quick questions. Dr. Moynihan. Of course, we should introduce ourselves.
I'm Mark Myers, CPG partner, landscape architect.
This is Doug Zaga,
My name is Elito Francisco. I'm an architect, urban designer. I am a principal with CRPKO here in town.
Kate Aoki, I'm an architect and head of exhibition design in Dallas.
James Fry, landscape architect.
I'm Norman Alston, architect.
Excellent. Okay, questions?
Quick. One question, is the preliminary plan submitted to the city yet or no?
I don't believe it has yet.
Okay, so, all right, the reason for it, right? And the question, can you tell me what is the function of that pink space
Oh, those two spaces, those are vertical circulation.
The one on the right side of these.
The pale pink.
Oh, that's an open plaza. You can see it
That's an open.
here.
Okay, got it. And then you guys not own anything beyond that lot line on that hard corner, the very.
No, that's all somebody else's property. This is technically a separate property that was included in the overall package that Brian and his team applied for.
No more questions.
Mark.
No. Well, yes.
And you,
It's a question and a comment. I guess the question that I have is there any reassurance that pad sites will ever be developed in that area and they're just not vacant? And the second question goes to the financial incentives that are being distributed by the city to help in this endeavor.
Yeah, I don't know, Kyle Housing might have some additional information.
Yeah, Kyle Hines, Assistant Director in Housing. I also serve as the General Manager of the Public Facility Corporation. We're working with Brian and his team to identify, we're predominantly doing housing work, so the retail pads are something that, the community wanted, and we're part of the application when they did the submittal for the 1,000-unit affordable housing challenge. Brian, I don't know if you want to provide an update on where you're at with the development and leasing, but I know it's one of the biggest, it was a housing RFP, but the community really does want to have more restaurant retail activity there. We think with this type of development, this type of fixed income development near the Down Rail Station, we're confident that we'll get retail activity and those pad sites will be developed, but Brian, you can also speak.
Sure, and so we partnered with Russell Glenn, he actually may be on Zoom now, and he's been working on this the last year with us. What I will say is that aside from the fact that personally we're committed to it, we want to put the right tenants there. So we don't want to just build a box and then have it sit vacant. We also don't want to put the wrong use there. So it's got to be something that serves the community, benefits the residents, and so we're trying to be very thoughtful about it, which is why we're waiting and not just building a box. We want to make sure that we put the right use there for the right tenant.
Can you say a little bit more about the strategy for the paving fees and infrastructure?
Sure, yeah, it is a lot of paving just because due to the nature of requiring a ton of parking for the retail spaces. We got 58, I think 54 parking spaces for those two pads. We got 15 for pad number 3 and the leasing office combined. So with just that many entrances onto the site, it's just ultimately requires that much paving. For the perimeter of the site, we're following the regular spacing required for the PD for the tree spacing. I think it's 25 feet spacing, if I can remember correctly. And it's requiring at least, I think it's 6 foot wide sidewalks, but we're providing upwards of 10 foot wide off of South Lancaster Road just for the walkability and safety. Just being Lancaster Road can be a high speed road at sometimes, so getting further away from the street is important. And it also brings more connection to the residents that are actually in the units facing Lancaster Road with those front stoops off of it. Once we get around the perimeter side, it does narrow down to the required width. I'm sorry?
Is it 6 feet?
6 feet minimum, yes, around the rest of the site along Finley, Mentor, and Avenue. And then just getting to the internal parts of the building from the sidewalks, out the perimeter sidewalks is adding more to the paving area. But I did try and show as much buffering of landscape between the sidewalk area and the front of the building as much as possible at all the sidewalk walkways. And for the retail pads, I'm showing a separate shade of kind of paving or concrete or pavers that would go around or in between the two pad sites for the development. You can see a little bit more of kind of a mixed offshoot of what could happen in between two built buildings for a courtyard / outdoor event space.
What phase is this project in right now and what's the schedule looking like?
Right now, we are pre-full design.
We do have the civil, engaged to begin the plat, so that's in progress, the preliminary plat submission. And then, Brian can probably explain the rest of the city, requirements that y'all are working through right now.
So there's a city council meeting next week to discuss the overall structure. We've already been through the PFC, the initial discussions with the PFC board on economic terms, and then, but it's full steam ahead. So, yeah, I think the work schedule, we have, I think it's late Q1, early Q2, and then we'll kind of finish up some of the initial design and finish that down there.
Yeah, plan would be to submit for permit in the April-May timeframe for hopefully potential late third quarter next year, early fourth quarter start construction.
And then, I'm sorry, you said that you were going to engage a landscape designer?
We have,
Or you have?
we have one on the books, but we just haven't started the design phase yet.
Yeah, that was my question. When you had- You mentioned, somebody mentioned that. There been any meetings with?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah, we've had three total meetings. They were all Zoom based. They were starting from late 2020 to early 21 from when we had those meetings. So it has been a little while, or maybe it was all early 21. Sorry,
Very end of 21 as well.
end of 21. Yeah.
And we've also met with the councilwoman's office multiple times, and so there's been a lot of feedback and
And we've met with the police department independently outside of those neighborhood meetings too, to get their feedback for the area, who patrol the area regularly. So got a lot of great feedback on security and other parts.
So based on that, what would you say were the top three? I assume you're programming it based on what you heard from them.
Yeah, a lot of it came down to affordability, making sure that it's targeted at the right price for those who are seeking it. And then the other parts of it were mostly centered around the retail spaces. Interestingly enough, they were more concerned about what is going in, what could go in, what our ideas were, who we've been contacting, and reaching out to.
and I would say security. Security, particularly on the backside of the building, just making sure that it is safe, and it's lighting, everything. So those were kind of the main. Norm.
Sure, you actually started. I didn't have any. I've got 15 parts. I thought I was going to pass on this one. First of all, it's great. Your plan shows 14 feet of drop across the side.
Yeah.
Which in 1,800 feet is not much, less than 100. But it's not nothing.
It's not nothing.
And you've got very large buildings. And I would expect in things like this, we would collect that 14 feet, and it will manifest itself in 5, 6, 8 foot increments as you go across here. I see nothing about that. Is that incorporated into this design at all?
It is incorporated into the design. You can see we have, some of them are not showing up properly. But between the highest corner, which would be the community space, to the lowest corner, we have 6 feet of great internal building change, elevation change, to the point where we starting with 10-foot ceilings up at this community space, and we get down to 12-foot ceiling at this space, but we're also shifting. So basically this donut right here shifts down with all floors versus the rest of this building stays at the standard floor to floor.
We're urban design, so that's an architectural issue. How is that gonna manifest on the sidewalks
Sure.
and the public space around? Again, I don't see that.
So if you turn to image number 18, it's the best showing of it. The courtyards are elevated above the sidewalk a little bit. And as you go even further down towards the Atlas Drive and Denley corner, we're sitting 5 feet above sidewalk elevation on the southeast corner. So we are building it up.
There's a wall holding up the building that's
Yeah.
5 feet.
Foundation wall holding the ground floor on this corner.
It
It is, yeah, and that's the case for all these units, except for this corner. This is closer to like 2 feet above, which is still, kind of the jump for people to get into. That's why we have 8-foot tall fencing on these open courtyards. That's security fencing for
privacy and protection. And then the only units, that are facing South Downey Drive are the ones that are slightly elevated above the sidewalk. Plus they have deeper planting beds that will plant with, prickly, whale's tongue, agave plants to prevent intrusion.
And we also have Mr. Maiden online for comment whenever you're all available.
One more question then, too long. So pad sites track typically prototypes, chain restaurants, whatever. Those things have backs, and they don't like to change that. Under retail, just thing like this, you would expect the back of those Jack in the Box and Burger Kings up there, facing the parking lot. This is residential. People are gonna be looking out at that. Is there any design authority that y'all have and implemented to mitigate the effects of these retail facilities and their important proximity to some of your residential units?
Sure. So some of those factors we have thought through. Some of these do face, like these units would face the back of pad 3 pretty clearly. But these units all face to the interior of the courtyard, so the direct views weren't necessarily out towards the back side of the pads. But you're right, that is an important thing to consider, and we have thought through that, but because we haven't gotten through with an engagement of anybody to really talk through that matter before yet, and how we can affect the backside, the true rear end of the building. Yeah, it's not the most pleasant to look at.
I can't think of a division that I've seen where an apartment has had restaurants sharing a sidewalk. I don't know if that's an interesting question. That's a question.
Might be able to shed some light on that.
Lake Island Town Center has 2 sides still, so there's no real facing the front.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Terrence.
Yeah, Jason, if I can, and good morning to each of you, and we're thankful for the opportunity. As Brian mentioned, we have been working with GFF and Lavaro for about a year now on this design. With the retail and restaurants, we're going to have to be really sensitive with our approach on how we design those buildings. As I've communicated with GFF, it actually needs to operate like a 4-sided building, and understanding that you have to have your utilities there and using landscaping and other materials to screen that to where it's not as visible to the people that are living in that community or driving along Lancaster Avenue. The other thing too, like with our redevelopment of Redbird Mall, finding the right sort of retail tenants and restaurants is going to be critical for this community. We have solicited a lot of feedback from community stakeholders of what they would like to see here, and then really being extremely targeted, thinking about concepts and restaurants that'll be beneficial and benefiting to the community. The other thing is that you have the VA hospital right across the street, and although they have a cafeteria on site, those individuals will want to sometimes venture out and maybe venture over and grab something to eat for lunch as well. So keeping all that in mind as we approach our retail strategy is the way we're looking at this.
Very good, thank you. No, sir, no. Okay. My question also relates to the bed sites. How do you come to the conclusion that you need to work with bed sites? Was it driven by economics? Was it driven by the program? Was it driven by community requests? Why are we splitting, say, the residential portion from the bed sites and by division?
Terrence can jump in. I will tell you, part of it is just visibility. And if you look at some of the retail that's down there, a lot of it is inline. They've had a lot of turnover. It's they're tougher to see. Parking is challenging, and so we wanted really to make it in some ways a focal point, especially given that it's right at the dark south. And so really, we pulled it out on purpose, and also the the accessibility to access in and out of the property would also benefit. So, Terrence, feel free to jump in.
No, I think Brian, you're absolutely right. I mean, we thought through this quite extensively. If you drive Lancaster Avenue now, in particular the uh, Urban Village project, their retail and restaurants are in line, and candidly, they've struggled because the visibility and parking. And so our thought process is to put something right on the street where it's highly visible, highly accessible for the people that are coming from the Dart line. We think that makes a much better experience, not only for the people in the community, but also the residents that are living there.
All right, thank you. Let's go to
Okay. Yes, so good project, thanks for sharing. I'm a civil engineer and also traffic engineer, so I'm going to give feedback with that perspective. I also do a lot of mixed use work. So I asked for the preliminary plat. That's for a reason I would highly recommend to please do it as soon as possible. Reason being, once you submit the preliminary plat, first of all, it's active for 5 years. So you have a lot of time to get working on it, but it tells you if they're gonna ask you for any right-of-way dedication or street easements or corner clips. I see that you have maximized the footprint of the site. And there is, for example, I don't see any space left for encore pads if you're gonna have any easement or not. So that is why I'm recommending, I mean, this is really maximized. And since we are going from a residential, second comment / question is, we are going from a residential neighborhood to pretty much hardscape the whole thing. In terms of drainage, the runoff coefficient is gonna go up a lot. The site actually drains from north to southwest. At that hard corner, you actually have a building. So I would suggest to ask your civil engineer to investigate right now how the site is how much detention is gonna be required, because you're not gonna be able to release any more than what it does today. So you need to plan for it. It may be in permeable pavement or whatever, but the downstream point is over there, but you can't do it there, right? So that is why I would recommend that to look at it. Also, I see a lot, I mean, not a lot, but there is definitely parking is key, right? You want to maximize your parking. I see some opportunities to redo or reconfigure some of the way it is laid out, and you can pick up maybe, 6 or so more spaces. Like I will mention that unless it is by design, the little swag, or not swag, like the little turn on the southeast corner, that roadway that's running kind of in the north-south direction. See, it comes in, then it jumps over, then goes back into the garage. So one, it's gonna maybe slow down, but I mean, I was considering that over there, as well as where you have the dumpsters, you can probably reconfigure a little bit and pick up a few spaces. On the pad sites, I have no doubt they're gonna get developed, because obviously you get a lot more per square foot as well. My thought is, given the way this site is, I think it's gonna be a small, like, hopefully coffee shop type tenant and not a Jack in the Box type tenant. My recommendation would also be that keep in mind, like, I know that there are 2 pads, easy to rent, easy to lease, but maybe you can later on, as you go down, consider one big tenant. I know it should all be driven by that, but there's a lot of space in between, and I'm concerned how really that, I mean, I don't see much right now to be able to give you some meaningful feedback. So my only comment is that please talk to the landscape guy and the civil engineer to use everything you can to come up with creative ideas for how you're gonna detain. Also, I'm an engineer, not an architect, but I've done enough projects. So I was kind of seeing, it looks very, like, especially those 2 courtyards on the west side along Denley. What was the reason for it like that? I know there is corridors running, so you can only put units on each side of those corridors in the building, but it looks like a lot of courtyard on the other side with not much units. That is, I leave it up to my other colleagues to comment on. And then same thing on utilities, because when you're gonna submit your preliminary plat, city will require you to maybe upgrade water, wastewater all along. So you wanna know that right now, because it can really impact your development budget.
So if I could comment on that, when I was reaching out to some civil engineers well over a year ago. We actually contacted one that we work with plenty of times that actually developed the site with a previous architect, I think 8 years ago or 9 years ago, however long it was. So it did give us some initial figures back from their studies from back then, knowing of what storm would need to be upgraded along South Inland Drive. So we have that already aware of, and we're tracking that as we're continuing.
Okay, yeah, because this is why I'm saying that the runoff coefficients, city has just in the last year and a half, those have all been updated. So now all of a sudden, the same system that you may have designed 10 years ago, they don't function anymore because the criteria have changed. So that is why it is becoming, I see it more and more coming up. That is why I mentioned, and I'm not commenting on things like why are those two dumpsters facing the parking and not the pads. Those are, I'm sure, will get refined and tuned down the road. But overall, I'm glad this project will go. It's a great site. That's the best thing about it, where it is. Good site.
Thanks, Lisa. Mark.
Thank you. A lot of positive things with this project, especially for this community. And I think that's the best part about this project is this community needs more housing like this to make it become more robust. I do have comments just related to the pedestrian realm and how we can put our best foot forward. Let's just start on Lancaster. I think it's great that you guys are doing stoops. It looks like coming from those units right there. It was very hard to tell on the perspectives if those have been developed or not. One of the things that I would encourage the design team to do is actually go look at a project off of Zhang in Louisiana. It's called High Point. It was a development that was just done, and they actually took the opportunity to take those units and create private dooryards along Zhang. And that actually created a lot of ability for people to go out to those dooryards, use those, and still feel safe and secure, because I know you guys said security was a big issue. However, I think implementing something like that would be a nice idea for you guys to look at, because bringing people out to the street and making it active and feeling good, really this is what this type of project is about on that. The other comment that I have regarding Lancaster is I am concerned that you guys build a great residential project and then we sit there for 4 or 5 years with no retail being developed. So I don't know if we can avoid that, because I do understand economics, but I would say I'd like to see the design team to figure out if those retail pads aren't going to be there, what do you envision those spaces to be other than dirt? How do you activate them as the overall project as temporary placemaking opportunities? That it's grass, it's irrigated, there's trees, there's sidewalks, there's seating. So I think you need to look at those retail pad sites as public space amenities within your first phase if you do feel that the retail is going to be a long way off. We need to put our best foot forward, I think, on that Lancaster edge. The third comment I have goes to the concern on security. I know we heard that a lot. And to Faisal's comment that we've really maxed out the site. On the other 3 roads, I wish there would be ability to where this building felt more open, pedestrian oriented, and accessible. The way that it's currently designed, obviously there's no access on the backside of any of the units to any of the other 3 streets. There's no on-street parking within those areas. So in a way, it does not feel urban. It does not look urban. It's basically just a big wall that faces the back of the neighborhood. I don't know if there's design considerations to somehow make those units more accessible with stoops and accessible entries down to the streetscape to enliven that and put parallel parking. But I think that's something that needs to be looked at the overall project to make it feel more accessible. You know, when you design something to feel secure and you put 8-foot fences around the courtyards, I understand the best intention that you guys are trying to do. But what that does, it makes the neighborhood feel unsecure. And it gives a psychological feeling that this is not a place that they want to be. So as much as we try to do positive, sometimes we do negative with that. Then lastly, the last comment would be just stormwater impacts, if I was comment. I don't know if you guys are going to do underground stormwater detention, if that's the plan, but I would also look at anything that you can do from a permeable paving standpoint, from water collection to reuse of water for irrigation. I think those are techniques that as we've gone through the summer, we've noticed that it's been a bear. We've seen more things happen that is dead landscape material. And, you know, in a project like that, that's something you don't want to happen because that just brings down the whole neighborhood. So try to be as resilient as possible to some of those strategies.
Cool.
That's all. Thank you, though. It's a great project.
Thank you very much for bringing your work into us because we, you know, we're all volunteers on the board and we are really excited to try and make Dallas more of a walkable city and especially South Dallas. You know, there's so many opportunities to improve the walkability and the urban quality of these neighborhoods, and that is really why we're giving up our Friday morning to be here and work with you. That said, I don't think this project is nearly ambitious enough in doing that. On a really kind of distant end of things, looking at it from far away, which we are doing since we're on these boards. I looked at the project when I first opened it and thought, oh, that must be Lancaster along the bottom with strong corners on the two sides of the site, and I imagine it's mixed use with retail underneath and housing above. And then I realized, oh no, Lancaster is up at the top, and it's really got these weak corners, which are perhaps paths or perhaps not yet, and they've not really got corner entrances. And so my first thought was this is a lost opportunity actually to have strong pedestrian-oriented edge to a very urban street in South Dallas. In some ways, that dark, walkable neighborhood with the hospital and that street side is one of the most potentially powerful urban environments, I think, in that neighborhood. And I think that we can do better. So I've got some small comments in this, but I just wanted to say, you know, we're here to help you. We want it to be a great project and successful rather than being critical about it. I'm trying to be kind of part of your team and say, let's kind of raise the bar a bit. So I've got some quite specific comments. I think, first of all, there are too many curb cuts along what should be a walkable street. I think that pad site over on the right, the idea that it's a drive-through restaurant is probably a mistake, because that encourages people to think of this as a place that you mostly access by driving. And we're trying to change the mindset that it's a place you come to on DART. I see that there's an awful lot of parking, and my thought is if this is a walkable development, you can negotiate not to have as much parking for the retail, since you're assuming so much of your clients are coming from DART and from hospital street. My second comment really follows up a little bit on what Norm said about the back. I think that there could be some more thinking about what are the fronts of buildings and what are the backs of buildings from an urban design point of view. I agree exactly with what Mark said about all the little entrances along the front on Lancaster. And I had exactly the same thought, why are there not entrances along all of the outside streets, the side ones and the whole of Denley Drive as well, which would make those apartments all be able to open onto the street and go straight out, because that neighborhood is quite walkable. And then in the areas that are parking, I'm going to have to stand up.
We need a laser next time.
Yeah. I think that the idea here that this is seeming like a courtyard seems to make sense, but then the main entrance on the highway was over here, and there's another entrance here and there, so it wasn't clear to me what was designed to be like a primary place for being in community space, this gathering space, is this the gathering space, or is that kind of a gathering space? So I wondered if you might be able to really think of one of these spaces, yes, maybe it's got parking, but it's nice containment, full of trees, and it's a place to be in. And then, you know, take one of the places, take one of the places and, you know, enclose it and put the dumpsters. The idea that you can hide dumpsters with trees doesn't really work. The dumpsters need to be inside a framed, closed space that maybe is along that facade, and you just furnish it and say there is a back. There has to be a back.
Can I play into that just a second? I don't mean to cut in line, but I was thinking about the same thing. So maybe this is a house. I'm not sure how useful that really is to you.
Yeah.
But the access to the site's right here,
Mhm.
it has to be, because there's an actual station here.
Yes.
Nobody coming out.
Yeah.
So why don't you just took these things and push them together and develop a back in between them here with a fence, can't see the equipment, can't see the, the air conditioning and stuff. And it gives you more space perhaps on the other side for development.
Activation.
There.
Yeah.
And solves that one problem. And so then you've got, instead of this from nowhere, you come here and you do this and come across.
Yes.
So same kind of thing. That's where that goes. Got one sitting here, big project, I'm thinking up, comes through that.
Well, and I think you could do better with the pad on the corner here as well, and that's 2 stories, and it could have something quite fantastic. And, I mean, I think it could be better than just a kind of a Starbucks pad. I think that that's a really extraordinary corner in the city. And I mean, obviously, it would be lovely if it were mixed use and there were housing up above it, but I can see from the way that you're funding the thing that's not going to happen. But at least maybe, some of the community uses could move up on top of that and really animate that corner.
Let me just follow up on this latest one. It's not the latest. Is funding tied up in any way to the use? Meaning, can your funding structure, can it accommodate mixed use building, or is it residential only?
We'd have to condo it out.
You'd have to condo it out,
Yeah.
it'd have to be separate.
Has to be separate.
It doesn't have to be a separate building, you just have to separate, from a, air rights standpoint, you would get condo structure. Okay, all right.
Well, that's, yes, it was exactly what I was thinking. I mean, the opportunity to have something that is more mixed use along Lancaster would just be extraordinary. And even if it is just a couple of units that go up above that retail along the front, it would alter the character of it, because it would make you feel like you were living in a community that was part of the retail environment, rather than it being, just a pattern. So going back to all those curb cuts, I was trying to think of a way that the places that were fronts, like that new area near the blue community space, ways that could be, even if it's parking, a place where festivals happen. And this is a lot to do with your landscape strategy and your landscape architect, but one of the really important things is going to be a strategy for green infrastructure and permeable paving and water collection, and all of that can happen in a kind of more generously thought way of using that land, and then really on the street parking and all along the sites in the back, yes, it's the same thought that we had, that maybe you can have some actual green space in that central part of the site if you put some on streets.
I would even say Lancaster. I mean, Lancaster's meant to be an urban street. If the city would allow you to do on-street parking on Lancaster, that'll also help you activate your retail, which maybe you can de-escalate some of the parking that you have interior then too.
I'm sorry, I just had a thought that I thought, and I'll forget if I don't mention. Look,
Go ahead.
you have 3 pads along Lancaster. That one corner pad, it is not even that big, 3,000 square feet, but it is really driving a lot of the design decisions of how this building can look like. So imagine for a moment that pad is gone. If that pad is gone, you can take your building all the way up to Lancaster. You can realign your access to the garage any which way you want. And that driveway is really not functioning very well with the driveway across for the other pad side. So if you let go that one tiny pad and you consider redoing your total building to connect it all the way, you may be able to squeeze the building in, push it away from the streets a little bit, add parking along Dunley, along Lancaster, bring everything in, and you may still not lose anything. It will also allow you to redo your 2 open spaces on the south side that I don't really like. I'm like, what are they doing there? But it gives you opportunity to rethink the whole thing. That one little pad is really, to me, is causing a lot of challenge. And then you can focus on your revised retail concept on the corner that is closest to the station. Just a suggestion, just a thought for some other day. But
Even having 3 retail on the left.
consolidate it all, and then you have a lot of flexibility to do whatever you want with the rest of it. That's a great comment.
That's a great idea. Even there could be.
That is
a
why
little bit-
Martin, otherwise I know.
We're sorry, we haven't been together in a long time. We
Yeah.
A little
We
bit.
need to
and
have
a
commercial.
little bit- Could be one little bit. of
And if you
mixed
do
use.
choose to go that route, please consider pushing the buildings back a little bit. It is way, when you're just busting at the seams and you're gonna run into trouble when the detailed design comes because there is no space left. So that's what I'm saying.
So then, Jackson.
I had another couple of thoughts as you did about the courtyards at the back, because I think that they either need to feel like they're really, they look at the moment like they're not really sure if they're formal and therefore they're part of the city or if they're really internal. So, I mean, I was thinking that they're internal courtyards, so I expect them to be playgrounds and dog parks rather than all this paving.
Yeah.
And that there shouldn't be any paving at all because you need all the permeability you can possibly get.
Well, to be fair, the landscape architect
Yes,
hasn't been fully engaged yet, but I think that's something that they can accommodate, right? Great. Fantastic. How'd you follow this one, Dave?
Well, yes, I appreciate everything that Justin said, because thank you for bringing this to us for feedback, because as Justin said, we want to be here as a resource to help you all with this as you're going through these concepts and trying to address the concerns of urban design and urban planning. And, so I thank you for bringing this to us. As I was reading the applicable priorities, it's funny because, you know, reading these, I would expect a different result than what we see. And again, I think that the most impressive thing about this project is that you are actually trying to make it work and that you're bringing it to the city because it's desperately needed. And so thank you for doing that and for taking the time and the investment to make this work especially for these residents. That being said, I feel like when we talk about, with all due respect, developer-driven initiatives, this is a physical manifestation of that. What I kind of feel when I look at this is, here's the money that we have, how can we squeeze it onto a site to make it work in the way that can benefit everybody at once? And it's just, it feels very hard. There are very hard edges, and so when I was reading about trying to soften the edges to this project, that's not what I see. I was asking about the phase that it's in, because I was wondering if it has gone through any kind of BE process. To me, the material selection is actually going to be built out of brick. That's great. But what I anticipate happening is that will immediately be beat out and it'll be replaced with hardy board or siding. And
We've already looked at the ratio of all materials, and I've taken takeoffs from the Revit model that I've used for it, and we're at about 56 to 60% masonry overall, so that it really encompasses the main frontages of the building. It does creep into the courtyards a little bit more, as you can see on this image. There's some more masonry going on the hard corner on the front facade there, but more into the deep corners and into the internal courtyard is where it starts to get down to the lower priced veneers.
so that's where I would echo Jesse's comments about not being nearly as ambitious as it could be. So I think that with that, knowing that that is what's going to happen, can we push the material selection, the color selection, anything to liven it up a little bit? Because at the moment, it just feels beige. It feels beige and it feels hard. And I'm thinking about the project that, I don't know the name of it, it's a retail project, so maybe that's not fair, but it's the one at Walnut Hill and Central that has just been, totally renovated.
The Hill.
The Hill, right. They brought in a lot of what looked like didn't cost a whole lot, probably. They more or less just sort of graffitied over it, you know, and they brought in some color with some very creative solutions to an existing set of buildings, and some interesting landscape concepts. Really, I don't think they had a lot of money to do that. I could be totally wrong about that, but just the way they approached that project was innovative, it was thoughtful. It actually made the parking lots feel like a part of the building in a strange way, which they didn't do anything to the parking lot. And just taking those kinds of ideas into a project like this, and maybe it's even as simple as updating the rendering so that we're not looking at big, huge stripes of black. Again, this is with all due respect, I know that there's not a lot of time and money for these kinds of projects, but I just think that we could be raising the bar on how the pedestrians and the people living in these communities, what they get in return for being able to, these spaces. So if there's anything that we can do to make it more colorful, again, Lancaster is a busy road, and from the rendering on page 16, I think that those are those stoops, what we're calling stoops, is that right? Is this view that we're looking at?
Yeah, that's looking at the community corner with the glass frontage that you can see kind of in front of the red and blue vehicles. But
So,
looking down the sidewalk, you can start to see some of the railings.
so what street is this?
That's Lancaster.
It is, okay, that's what I thought. So that is really close to the street, and in the rendering, we're seeing like air conditioner condensers and that kind of thing. So I don't wanna be too hard on you, but I just, we have an opportunity to make this something. And I think that can be done with just a little bit of extra material choice, a little extra attention, like we've all discussed, to maybe what the programming is along Lancaster, the curb cuts, the paving. What can we do to just push the boundaries a little bit, take it beyond what we always do in Dallas, which is the wraparound garage, you know, and just push the boundaries a little bit. You know, I'd be curious to know too, the community listening sessions, you said it was stakeholders and police, but were the residents involved as well?
There were residents involved.
There were?
Yes.
Okay.
There were residents of the single-family homes surrounding, and then residents of the apartment just to the north
Okay.
as well that had input.
I mean, new is good, and so freshening up just by the nature of it being new is good. And again, you know, if we put this in today, the way it is, at least it's something. But let's try to aspire beyond that, and really make it something that could potentially be a little bit special in some ways.
Yeah, I think that's an unbelievably great point. I would say even to think about, to go further, engage a local artist.
You're right.
You know, that's of the
Exactly.
community, about the community, that it feels like this is not built by you, but it's built with the community, not through the community meetings, but as you go further through the process.
Well, and actually, Terrence says, you may have had to jump off, but he did actually talk to people about having sculptures and artwork and I think in those open areas. And again, we're early in the process, but that actually is spot on. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, one of the ideas we discussed was thinking about local military heroes through the VA, and maybe getting bronze statues that could pay tribute to that. Since we're right across from the VA, it could be also something that people want to come in and visit. Was an idea. And to Mark's point, I believe that was Mark that mentioned maybe getting a local artist, which is another fantastic idea.
I mean, I think that you could do something, even as a paint, there's a lot of things you can do with just buckets of paint, you know, and that, again, that's sort of another set of consultants that's further down the line. But I think too often we see it in the very early stages, everybody says, yeah, let's okay, make these couple of changes and we wind up with this. So I would, again, I'm glad that you're already thinking about these things so that they could be incorporated and thought about next year.
But I guess the thing that I would jump in and say is that I don't think that it is too early, actually. I don't think you really want to put bronze sculptures in the park. What you want to do is think about the whole facade as
Exactly.
as the thing.
Right,
Exactly. The veteran-related art would actually cover a whole wall, and then you save the money on the wall, and you actually make the art feel.
A community day where you come out and you paint crosswalks. I mean, it's, I think that there's a lot of creative solutions that are low cost, that engage the community and that brighten it up, that can be considered for very good communities.
Thank you.
I can't stop those conversations. I know it's a hard job. I've got a
Right.
lot of little notes and I'll just don't hit you, but I'll throw all this out.
Also, we're going to be here.
Just real fast. I'm one of the reasons in Louisiana, I talk to staff about and top of the corner, you know, same thought, can you consolidate those? I would say, can you pull those paths to the corner? I want to make it more urban. And I guess coming at this, I'm thinking about, you know, how the quality of life of the people living here, so it doesn't feel transient, you know, it feels very more permanent. Jesse's comment about positives, you know, these are gonna be functional, I get some kids want to play out there, I don't know if they're gonna want. I know these aren't designed, I think these will be more active. I had worked on a park last year, and Clyde Warren Deck Park, the playground can't be big enough. They keep expanding, right? So, this is gonna be a place for kids, I would think. Don't make it look fortress. That's gonna be hard to do. Safety is an issue. I think those were Mark's comments. So, pulling this out, I see this as a high traffic zone. So you think about the residents here, the people, I wouldn't want to walk out of my house in the morning and have a lot of cars coming and going to pad sites. So how you treat this, that's going to take a lot of creative thought so that you feel like if you're walking your son or daughter across this lane, you're not scared you're going to get run over. My sister-in-law lived in a place similar to this. So, making it not feel dated, I think I like that comment. I think it feels and the place she lived in, I know these entrances to the garage internal like that are always really scary. Going in and out of there, because people are flying out of the garage because they're late to the office. So I think how you treat that's going to be really important. These dumpsters are, we do that. One thing I was thinking about here is there a way to align these drives? I feel like I can just see people wanting to cut across to this pad site. And I think if you maybe flip-flop this, or as Basil was saying, you pull this out, you could eliminate that, maybe consolidate some of these entrances. Know what that looks like. I like the idea of the stoops. I wish they were all along here. Maybe all the way around.
All the way
It'd be fantastic if you could engage the street. This is your residential.
And the residents, yeah.
Kids living here are gonna have friends right there. They're gonna wanna cross or, connect. What are my little comments? I'll be quiet. Just these weird angles, there's a way to clean that up. I see this as a pretty harsh space in general.
That's needed for natural ventilation purposes for the garage. but
Yeah.
It's always a kind of gray zone.
I really, you're just gonna have to use.
The garage is all above grade, or is it?
There's
like a
no
half-
below, maybe slight
4 or 5
slight
feet below
grade,
grade,
maybe
and
only like 2 or 3
2 or
feet
3
just
feet.
for head height clearances for the additional parking, but it's all elevated concrete garage.
I'd say just at a high level, make it feel, I don't know what word, the right word, permanent, or, quality of life, and I realize it's challenging. Quality of life there is really as high as we can possibly make it. I think that's through materials, through really thinking through the activities. I like the idea of sculpture, but I also think that with people there, if you truly want to, you want people to stay there, you want them to raise their families there, they're going to have spaces that they truly want to be in. So, passive is good, but also you want to think about some actions. That's pretty much everything.
Thank you, James. Good comments. No.
Thank you.
Well, first, let me tell you, I have wonderful ever why this part of my guest graduate just take it off. I'm fair. You got that huge employer across the street, you've got all the surrounding lives, residential for a mile, you got transit up and down the street. I'm excited for this.
Yes,
This is something that needs to happen.
Right.
But it bothered me a little bit, and I tried to figure out what it was, and here's what I think it is. We have the unusual situation here of having 7 acres to do all at once in an urban setting. This is an urban setting. But we have so much land, I think we have a suburban response.
Yeah.
I think that is what's rolling off of some of your other comments, that there's a lot of suburban imagery here, things that we as an urban design panel deal with almost every time we meet, now when we meet again. Where we're, how do you drop a suburban, pre-designed pad site bank or restaurant into an urban setting? Yeah, you think of the Taco Cabana on South Greenville, the lower Greenville, that kind of thing. That didn't go real well. But we have the room to do that kind of thing here, and so that's the response we have. So I think in kind of a global perspective, I would, and a lot of y'all's conversations especially get back into that, an urban response would be a lot than this. But I still think that's kind of where we should be headed. I'll also note that the building itself with the and we understand the standardization, top to bottom, boom, boom, coming down all the way to the ground that way. But that has, I think that has some, even though it's residential, it has some imagery that like a lot of people pay off of that isn't residential. One, it looks a lot like the hospital across the street. If you look, it's the same way, same scale, same repetitive thing, right down to the ground. A lot of new suburban hotels look just like this. It's not a hotel, I understand it's not what we're trying to do, but to me, you get into that imagery, and then we get a thing, and the hotels are transitory. There's you know, after working so much at Fair Park, we worry a lot about suggestions, even if they're not literal. You know, what is this saying to the community about what we're doing here? What they mean to us in our development? And I think we've got some room to grow on this to do that. And then I'll go back to today's theme for me, my second last comment. I'm not going to get into this to any depth at all. But we're talking about playgrounds and using the maximum amount of space. Boy, those are some nice big old flat roofs over there. You know, how easy would it be to put a playground, just shade structured, you know, and play structured, lightweight, back in the middle, you have to see it, totally secure, you know, kids, you can leave your kids, I mean, so there's and easy to get to, because car you can go all the way to the roof level. There's some opportunities there, I think, that I won't get into the detail. And then the last thing, my theme for the day has been urban design, which is kind of what we're here for. And what I see is again the same thing that I saw in the previous project. So I direct you to page 20, which is our ubiquitous, and rightfully so, section showing how the sidewalk and the relationship of the walkable environment is articulated. We make sure we've got plenty of room for landscaping and for people to move comfortably and for plants to grow comfortably. But it seems like, and so we care, and we've seen it, we've got lights, we've got landscaping, we've got pavers, we've got all kinds of special stuff happening in that part of the public realm. And then that very picture, that doesn't carry over to the architecture. Now, we talked about stoops. Stoops are one thing, but whether it's stoops or whether it's painting or whether it's something else, the idea that this is a residential development in an urban environment, I would encourage us to better articulate the scale change. We have one thing happening at the grade level that reflects all of that detail and all that trouble we're going to there on the street level, and let it play into the building. It has to be direct access. We've seen that many times too, and that's a security concern for everybody who brings one of these things up. Not everybody should have a door to the street, because there's going to be an invitation. Some folks do the wrong thing, and I understand want to do that. But even if it's not accessible directly, I do think it needs its own texture. I do think it needs an architectural articulation that is consistent with the landscape and the pedestrian articulation right next to it.
And it's not like a black 4-inch picket.
Right. It's something else. And again, it may very well be, it's just all, you know, it's all painted. It's a series of memorials to the soldiers that we were talking about. I don't know. I'm not going to one designer, but I do think the trouble we've learned to go to for the space right next to the building, between the street and the building, needs to go up a little. We need to take that kind of attention, that kind of detail, kind of interest and texture up into the architecture. I understand, the perception on the top floor is from the street, but one down here you can touch it. And because of those different conditions, architecturally, they deserve this. So that's kind of, that's it. And I think so that now it's a lot of the other comments that kind of pulled into some of those thoughts too. There's opportunity here that we encourage you.
Well, it's exactly like I want to take it now.
Okay, good guys. I think you can tell that this is a very passionate passionate and opinionated. But please don't be discouraged. This is all meant as not discouraging, but encouraging, constructive criticism. Sometimes we get vocal like this because we care. It's not, we want this to happen. We can see how critical this is. We understand that this part of our city needs more of this kind of development. So kudos to you. It's not easy. Funding is not easy. We know you get resistance, you get the roadblocks along the way. Don't give up. Keep going. Once again, everything that we are telling you is true. We make it as good as it can be. I agree with most of the comments here on the panel. Most of them. I tend to think that the building is actually, as I see it here, given what it is, it's a residential building and infills, it's infilling a part of the fabric of the city that is essentially, Lancaster is discontinued, right? It's a bunch of, at the drive, it's a discontinuous environment. There's this and that and that and a gap, another gap and another building. So it never feels like consistent and brand. That is perhaps much about configuration. So even that this is meant to be a residential building, infill building, I think it actually works very, very well. It's sort of background. It's meant to be in the background, not meant to be the next role. Yes, but it's meant to be in the background. So from that standpoint, I think it does it very well, knowing that resources would be very, very limited. Sure, we can always use paint. Yes, agree. But even in that corner over there, it's not bad. Talking about corners, and that is my want to close with this comment about corners because we have heard plenty of good ideas already. Corners are critical, right? So plan northeast and plan northwest. Those are the critical moments, critical points of this whole site. And unfortunately, we have bad sites there. And I think the strongest reactions that we got from the panel relates to the bad sites. So we would like to encourage the city housing, the housing group with the city to work with the developers, with Jason the architect, and see if there's any way to better integrate the bed sites. Let's not call them bed sites, the retail component with the residential component. If that can be integrated, better integrated, I think we would be so much happier. It would be much better for the city. I think the project now is a 7. If we can integrate it, it would be a 9.5, which is as good as it can be, right? Given that we are all architects. We never get the 10. So that is what besides what you heard from my colleagues on the panel, strongly encourage the city, the housing department, to work with developers if you're so inclined to integrate retail and residential for a better urban building on Lancaster. Do not forget, we've heard that a few times already, the connection to the Dart station happens on Plan Northwest. And right now, if I didn't know that there was a Dart station there, the plan gives you no clue, right? The station could be anywhere around here. So, Jason, that's on you. How do you recognize? How do you acknowledge? How do you invite that pedestrian traffic into this block? And vice versa, how do we establish a conversation between this block and the Dart station? That's a key opportunity right there. I don't know how many opportunities like that there are on Lancaster. How many corners like that there are on Lancaster? So it cannot be just another bad site from old water. So, okay, we had some.
Well, sorry, I was gonna say that courtyard, right in the center of the west.
Mhm.
Of all that, almost directly lines up with the station, so it's, you have a path blocking it, but that's almost a direct free connection that can be.
That whole
Yeah.
all
All right, any other comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to
Yes.
mention another thing because I was looking at it. So this is again just for a planning purpose. I noticed Atlas has 45 feet of right of way. So I'm pretty positive that you're gonna have to give 7.5 feet street easement on your side. So please consider that. Also on Denley and I can't read the other one, it's 50 feet. I think that probably there's a potential for a 5 feet street easement on those. So again, that is why I'm just saying, please take a look. If you choose to reconfigure any of it, you need to leave some space on the outside because it is way too tight. And on that one, I know if you don't plan it, it's gonna come up into your setback. So I know for a fact on Atlas, you're gonna probably have a, like I said, it's 45, 60, 7.5 on your side.
Okay. So, Arturo, would you?
Right.
Look at Arturo's notes. We've got the date, many notes. Give it a try, Arturo.
I'll give it a try.
Okay.
All right, comment number one, the panel commends the proposed development for the housing this urban project will bring to the community and to this part of the city that in some ways has been overlooked. Comment number two, the panel advises looking at adjusting the footprint of the building to accommodate a more generous streetscape, access to the building, usability of open space amenities, and overall softening of the building. Comment number three, the panel suggests this project is not nearly ambitious enough when it comes to helping promote walkability and a strong pedestrian edge. Please explore ways to consolidate curb cuts where possible as a walkable development. Explore, if you can, reducing parking provided, particularly as it fronts a light rail station. Continue to work with the city to explore opportunities for on-street parking as well. Comment number four, the panel recommends working on the preliminary plat as soon as possible to help get ahead of any potential utility and right-of-way requests. Working with your civil and landscape architect to consider how water retention will be accommodated on site and looking at the use of permeable surface materials and other low-impact development practices. Comment number five, the panel advises looking at a previous project, High Point on Zang, and their use of private dooryards, allowing residents to enjoy an outdoor space. Comment number six, the panel recommends exploring creative use of architectural articulation and use of scale, window placement, materials, color, landscaping, and use of local artists, perhaps in a thoughtful and innovative way to enhance the overall interest and attractiveness of the project. Number seven, the panel suggests considering how pad sites or retail components could be used as a public space amenity on day one while retail tenants are brought on board. Comment number eight, the panel suggests that further consideration be given to how the front corner plaza and northwest corner plaza can be enhanced, how building entries and retail component layouts can better work together to enhance the pedestrian experience and retail operations, including exploring the opportunity to add housing over the corner retail components, and explore ways in which rear and side elevations can be designed to be more accessible from the street, including adding stoops. And lastly, comment number nine, the panel recommends the team explore more urban response to the panel recommends the team explore a more urban response to the development. I'll reword that one later, but and it might go into another comment.
So I think, yes, very good. It's not easy to capture all the comments, but maybe what is, I'd like to make it more clearly, comments reflect more clearly that the panel encourages developer, architect, and city to work together and find, if at all possible, creative ways to better integrate the retail components and the residential components. Yes, maybe residential comes over retail, maybe retail gets consolidated, addressing the corners, addressing the concern with the corners of the site and connection to VA water.
Is it too late to add one more comment? Because this is what happens when we sit and look after this. I was just thinking about what Norm said about the scale of the entire site and thinking about arriving at that dark station with a pedestrian. And I wondered how frustrating it would be if I actually lived behind this building and I'd suddenly discover I have to walk all the way around this enormous block, which is actually, and then I was thinking back, in fact, the project we just saw in the previous hour, where they had taken a big city block and actually divided it with a walkable, open pedestrian passageway. I wondered if it might be worth thinking about some public pedestrian ground level pathways from Lancaster through to Denley that subdivides at least one's experience of this.
That was thought of early on because it is an 800+ foot long frontage on Lancaster. When it came down to the comments from community and police about security and creating tunnels and creating pockets to, it became a no-go situation for the site.
No.
I
It functionally is difficult to make it.
I understand what you're saying, and I saw it coming.
Yeah.
I mean, I really think that the opportunity is to make that corner retail part of a flex use that is under the residential component. And I understand a lot of times you don't want to mix it because then it's difficult to sell. And you may want to keep that hard corner pad on the west separate because later on they can carve it out and they can sell it to a third party without having to. So that is the reasoning for those being slab on grade. But that corner can be really accommodated as a retail, so it can be a hybrid, which can be a win-win for everybody because it is driving a lot of your design decisions just for that little tiny pad.
Sure. I was sketching an idea about that corner, so.
Yeah. And I really think you better squeeze it in. It is shooting. I'm telling you, you're gonna run into trouble.
Any other comments from our?
My comment is that as they finalize it, please look at where your loading is gonna go, where your on-core pad is gonna go, where your easement, so because I don't see any space left. So talk to on-core right now, so you know how they're gonna service the site.
That's difficult right now.
I know, but that's right.
All right, so, Jason, Brian, Connor, thank you again for.
Yes.
Being here.
Thank you for your time.
Take it as a busy dog.
What is Friday?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for your
Always have
very much.
always have a beer early, right? But good, I mean,
Next time.
gonna be good project. Yes.
So I'm gonna like this. It's up to you. Yeah, you don't need much. Clearly. No, it's the first day that's very close. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's some-
No, thanks so much.
Nice to meet you.
No. Thanks for your comments.
Yeah, thank you for bringing it.
I think we're gonna leave that. Yes.
I don't know what James, what are you driving?